Hi everybody. So a bit of a different video today. Obviously, I'm not in the video. There's no keyboard. There's no me sitting at a desk. There's no comic filter over the video here. Instead, this is actually a video of my buddy Ian Rogers, who today just had his debut novel come out. And so the reason why I'm sharing this instead of one of me at the keyboard is, for one, this is a bit more interesting, I think, kind of a switch up. But more importantly, I think it's important for those that are looking to become aspiring writers, looking to become aspiring authors, looking to get published. It's important to see the end product, and not just in terms of book, but the end product in terms of what it looks like when it's your moment, right? When it's your chance to go up there basically and do a reading and to do a book signing. What is it like to have your moment in front of an audience? And so, wanted to show this today. This is a quick video of him doing a reading from his novel. The novel is called MFA Thesis Novel. I'm going to leave a link to it down in the description here. Excellent book. Terrific. With that, like I said, the reviews are great. But more importantly, though, I want you to get a sense of what this looks like. All right, what does it look like to have something published? What does it look like to finally be in front of an audience? And I hope that this both is a humbling thing to look at, and also something that's very, very inspiring. Inspiring because, hey, this is the moment, right? This is the moment to be in front of your friends, your family, your loved ones. This is the moment for them to all see your work and to finally, after years and years of striving to get this book done, to find the agent, find the publisher, wait years before the publisher finally puts it out. After all this time, this is, your big moment basically to enjoy, to, some sort of praise, to have the spotlight on you. It actually took Ian, I believe, 7 years from his initial first word that he put down in his first draft to actually getting this thing done. So 7 years for the entire process. And that includes finding the agent, the publishing, the whole deal. So I hope this is first very inspiring. And now I want to also hope that this is a bit humbling. And when I say humbling, what I hope you see is this is it, right? Like, I didn't get a wide shot of the audience. I didn't get some grand, I wasn't able to get like a panoramic shot at all. But this is a room of about 50 people. So this is about 50 people here that are at his book signing, at his debut, sort of debut reading. That's it. Not a bad thing. It's terrific to see it. It was a great atmosphere, a great experience. But I think that I think when people think of getting their books published, they believe that the publication, that their debut is going to be this massive thing. I think people tend to think that, they're going to be in New York City in this massive library in front of like 500 people, doing these readings, sitting down at a desk, doing all these signings and shaking hands, and there's going to be like press there and all this. This guy right here got his book published basically traditionally, and it's a fantastic book, and yet it still ended up being about a 50-person debut in his hometown. This was not the publisher basically was not putting up a whole lot of money to sponsor him, at like some massive Barnes and Noble. This was something he had to do himself. He had to go through the work of actually organizing this. And so I hope it's a bit humbling to see that what your vision might be for what your debut is going to look like, for what it's going to look like when you are finally in front of an audience. I hope it's a bit humbling to see, in fact, what you're going to experience is probably going to be tempered. It's probably going to be not as massive of a thing. It's not going to be as high of a quantity. The quality obviously is there. The people there are obviously fantastic, and again, the atmosphere is great. But it's probably not going to be this massive bookstore. It's probably not going to, your debut is probably not going to happen in front of all these people. You're not going to necessarily have newspapers and bloggers and video crews or whatever maybe you might imagine in your head being there. We're not all J.K. Rowling or Stephen King. We're not all gonna get the big press. And honestly, they J.K. Rowling was not J.K. Rowling at the start. Stephen King was not Stephen King when Carrie came out. Right? They didn't get the big press. Their debut books were not were not some worldwide bestsellers. These weren't they weren't getting the big press in the big bookstores right away either for their debuts. They weren't getting the crowds. They were probably getting, I imagine, small venues. I think Stephen King talked about how he was, celebrating, in his trailer when Carrie came out or something like that. So this is to be as humbling as it is inspiring, to give you a realistic depiction of what it's going to look like when your book finally comes out and you finally address an audience. Again, it's a great experience. I could tell Ian was having a great time being with people, and again, the audience was fantastic. But this video here is to really give you an idea of what it's going to look like, of what it is to stand in front of an audience of 50 people basically and read your book. And I hope the sense of fulfillment does come through there. I mean, this is the first time that a mass audience is actually hearing something that came from his head 7 years ago, and finally now the public can now see it. Finally the public can actually see his vision and actually listen to the words that he came up with 7 years ago. So it's definitely a very magical thing, very inspiring. And I hope this video serves as just a glimpse into the reality of what it's like to actually have your book published, even traditionally, even when you go through, not the self-published route, but even when you go through all the hoops of traditional publishing. This is basically what you get at the start. This is what's going to happen when your book finally gets done. This is what it's going to look like. All right, so that's it for this video. Just a quick thing. Again, big celebration for Ian there. I'm going to put his book down in the description here. Check it out, and I'll be back tomorrow.